YouTube friends, it is Tracy with CRRV, and I have a surprise. We are going to go somewhere. Yay! I'm so happy. I'm so excited. This will be, I think, our first away trip, long off trip, since we've been in the RV. Since we've actually been living in the RV. Brett called me this morning and said, hey, I want to go to the beach for the 4th of July. I said, hey, you know what? So does everybody else. And they made their reservations a year ago. Well, see what you can find. So I looked around and I did some research. He likes to go to Fort Pickens. We both like to go to Fort Pickens, which is by Pensacola Beach. And that was not available because of it being the holiday weekend. So I looked around a little further east, and I happened across a place that I already know that I really, really like. And it's called Port St. Joe, which is a little bit further east than the typical Panhandle, touristy Panama City, Pensacola, Destin type areas. It's more old Florida. There are no sky rises. There are no huge condominiums. There's no restaurants, no go-kart tracks, no nothing like that. It is a little fishing type village. Lots of crabbing, lots of scallop gathering, lots of oysters in the bay. Very, very fun, not touristy part of the state. So let me show you what I've pulled up here, and I'll show you where we're going. There we go. Let's see if we can tilt that down a little bit. There we go. Alright, so here I am in Birmingham, or just north of Birmingham. And we are going down here to that part of Florida. So you've got over here, let's pull it over this way. Over here you've got Pensacola, and then there's Destin there, and then come over here, and there's Panama City Beach, and then about an hour or so east of Panama City is Port St. Joe. Let me zoom in on that. There's the actual city of Port St. Joe right there. This here, this little peninsula here is known as Cape Sandblast. Capesanblas. Cape Sandblast. And over on this end is the area known as Indian Pass. And Indian Pass Campgrounds is where we're going to stay. It's called the Indian Pass because it is a natural pass between the St. Vincent Sound, or the Apalachicola Bay, and the Gulf of Mexico out here. And this is St. Vincent's National Wildlife Refuge. That's actually 12,000 acres that is primitive. There's nothing there. It's just the wildlife. And there's actually a ferry. Let me take you to the earth view here, and we'll zoom in. This is the campground. This whole area right here is the campground, and that is the ferry that goes back and forth between St. Vincent's Island and Indian Pass. So we may actually take a day and go out to St. Vincent's Island. Although it looks like there is really nothing there to see unless you're a bird watcher or an alligator or a seashell collector. Maybe you might find some stuff out there. You might go out there and hunt for some alligators. But very, very, very beautiful place to go. I went ahead and looked up their website, and it's nice. It does not have sewer hookups, so we will have water and electric only. And then the sewer, we will either have to move the RV to dump our tanks, or they have a quote honey wagon that comes around, and for $15 they will pump your tanks for you. And it's just a very beautiful, very relaxed place. The pass is celebrated most for fishing, lagoon oysters, and an incredible variety of wildlife. Like I said, it's just going to be a very relaxing time. And we will be on the beach, which is where he wanted to be. All of the beaches down there are dog friendly, so we can actually take our dogs to the beach with us, which is not something that we normally get to do. I have made a list of things that I would like to get done before we wind up leaving here. I want to put away everything. The clothes, the towels, the dishes, anything that's out of place that doesn't have a home needs to find a home before we pull away. One of the things that has to be done is get the overhead bunk area cleaned out so that the bed can fold up for travel and nothing is stored there. Which, I told y'all the other night, it's still a disaster. It's still a wreck. A lot of it is clothes that needs to be put away that I have just procrastinated, and I had them caught up at one point, and now they're not again. The dirty clothes baskets, they can sit at the foot of the bed while we're moving. But while we're moving, we can't have anything up there. I need to prep some meals ahead of time and freeze them so that we can cook. And we don't have to use a lot of water for cleanup because, like I said, we won't have a sewer hookup. So I want to go ahead and get some stuff frozen, and then we can just use paper plates and spoons and forks and disposable spoons and forks so that we can just heat everything up in the microwave and then not worry about a lot of cleanup. And then I want to give everything a good cleaning before we leave. I want to do the kitchen, the bathroom. I need to dust. I want to clean the shower. And the cab area of the RV is definitely going to need some attention because that's where Libby likes to stay. And it's 140 degrees up there, but that is where she wants to be. That's where she's happiest at. And so she will go up underneath that curtain and go hang out up there and sweat in her sauna and enjoy herself. And so everything is covered with dog hair. It's got dog slobber on it. I've got to get up there and clean because we can't drive it like it is. And then Brett's got to do some RV maintenance. He checks the oil pretty regularly. He checks the tires pretty regular. But we want to double check those things before we leave and just make sure everything is good. Definitely needs to wash the RV. It is filthy right now. It's got pollen and dust all over it. It's terrible looking. So y'all saw his handy dandy little brush that he bought a couple of weeks ago. And so he needs to put that to good use. And then of course we need to run the generator before we leave just to be sure that it is in good working order as well. So I have a busy little week to look forward to, or a couple of weeks to look forward to, because we're not leaving just yet. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited. So y'all be happy with me, and we'll see you next time on See Our RV.